can defend yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You nervous?
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
See these hands? They look like they're shaking to you?
I don't know, they kind of do.
Okay.
They look like they're shaking a little bit.
You ready?
I started it like 15 seconds ago.
Oh. Well, my name's Denise.
And I'm Ethan.
I don't have his last name yet, so don't fret.
What do you mean? You don't have my last name?
No. Or I would just call out both of our last names, but I'm not going to do that.
Anyway. My mic is so much louder than yours.
It's supposed to be. Yours is bigger.
Yeah, but it's so much louder.
Well, I'm 20.
I haven't even... Why are you getting into...
Because I'm 20.
You've never... Okay. Let me do the sell part before you start telling about
What are we selling?
Gosh. Okay. Welcome back. I put in a community post last week on the YouTube that I had something special planned, and that's why there was no video last week. And this is what I got. So I'm here with my woman. Say hi.
Hey.
She's been talking this whole time, but
I'm a talker.
This is Denise. I've talked about her quite a bit on here before.
Because I love Jesus and I need all the prayers.
Yeah. So she walked up to me a couple weeks ago. I guess it was a couple weeks ago, right? Or a week ago, a couple weeks ago?
Probably.
And
I can't count.
And she was like, "Hey, yo, let's do a pod." And I'm
Cast.
like, she is really cringe. So you're going to hear a lot of cringy stuff.
Hey, but Jesus still loves me.
Yes, Jesus still loves you. But we talked about it, and it's been a little while coming. And yeah, we decided we wanted to do a podcast.
Also, if we're echoing, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, if we're echoing, I'm new to this sound stuff. And apparently I'm supposed to be the smart one, and I'm not. And also there's a huge price difference in our mics. Mine was like $150, and we just went and got hers like an hour ago for like $30.
I never claimed to be a podcaster. I just said I would talk about Jesus. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna have to mute my mic every time you talk. It's gonna suck.
Oh.
But anyway, we'll get sound stuff when we get better. We'll work on it.
Yeah. What he said.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. This episode we're kind of just gonna talk about us. Our favorite topics besides Jesus is ourselves. We were gonna share our testimonies, but I already done mine.
And that'll come on a different day.
And that'll come on a different day. So I'm trying to get her like comfortable around a microphone, because if you can tell, she's not.
I'm scared of a microphone.
She's scared. She's
Don't
frightened.
tell anybody.
She has a phobia of microphones, is what it is.
Microphobia.
She is
Actually, I think that's a thing.
microphobia.
But I don't think it's about microphones.
Microphobia. It's probably like a bacteria thing.
Or an ant.
Or an ant.
Yeah.
What does ant have to do with micro?
They're tiny.
Or you're scared of Microsoft. You could be scared of Microsoft.
What does that mean?
Do you not know what Microsoft
I
is?
know what that is, but what does that mean?
It means you're frightened by the company.
Okay, anyways,
Microsoft.
that's completely off topic.
We have fun here.
Go ahead. Talk about yourself.
So we're kind of just gonna talk about ourselves for a little while. I've kind of introduced myself a little bit, but we're gonna do a deeper dive into that this time. We're gonna be little pluggers real quick. Like and subscribe. No. We actually have a Patreon, right? You made it already?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a Patreon where most of the podcasts will also be filmed. It is completely free. We don't really know what we're going to do with it yet, but we made one. We have one. And all these podcasts are going to go up on there. They're also going to go up on YouTube as well. So I don't think that this is just a one-time thing. They're going to be up on here too. But yeah, we may do some like bonus footage over there. Don't really know yet. We don't really have a direction for it. I'm pretty sure we don't. I'm pretty sure it's literally just a random picture of us.
It is, yeah.
I'll put
For now.
I'll put a link to it.
He doesn't like taking pictures.
I
so
don't. I hate taking pictures. I hate how I
Something
look.
you know about him.
But that's the thing. I hate how I look in pictures. Like, I think I look dumb.
Jesus loves the way you look in pictures.
Well, I get that, but I don't like the way I look in pictures. I think I look dumb.
Okay.
In our house, I know this is a segue, but we're kind of just talking about us. In our house, there's a wall, right where we sleep, and it's full of pictures of me and her. And I have to look at it every night, and I see all my pictures, and I'm like, I look dumb. I don't like it. Yeah.
It won't let me publish it unless it's $1.
Okay, so we're working on Patreon. It's saying
somewhere.
it has to be $1, but we'll work on it. That may be a future thing. Patreon. So we can just
No. App's trash.
No, that app is not trash.
App's trash.
We just didn't know.
I'll find a different podcast app.
We just didn't know.
That's free.
Yeah, we just didn't know what we were getting into.
No, I only used it to get in on some tea on somebody else's Patreon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're kind of just going to talk about ourselves for probably like the next 30 or so minutes.
30?
Well,
I was going to give it 10, not 30.
Well, I mean, we have to leave in like an hour and a half. Or in an hour.
Okay, bye. I'm like, Noah's work, I'm out.
You can't tell. Denise watches TikTok all the time.
As a lot of people do.
And it's so bad that she has now started talking like a human TikTok.
That's just inadequate.
I call her the human TikTok because she literally talks like
That's weird.
a human version of a TikTok.
Are you the human YouTube?
Am I the human YouTube? I might be.
Okay.
I might be the human version of YouTube.
Great.
I don't know. I might actually be the human version.
Anyways, we're both 20. Okay.
You do not know how to segue.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
Okay.
Segue,
We're supposed to be talking
segue
about
is like the transition into one topic to another.
Okay, well, I'm still 20.
Oh, okay. Well, I hadn't gotten there yet, but you know. I guess we're there now. Yeah, we're both 20. We're both youngins to this.
I just got my driver's license.
She did.
I'm too scared to drive.
She
I shouldn't
was.
be allowed on the road at all.
She was really frightened about getting her license, but
All I'm going to say is if you know that I'm driving, be off the road because it's very dangerous.
It is very, very dangerous. I think I just try talking now.
Well.
Oh, I screwed that up.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, imagine you've got your volume all the way up and not mine.
Oh, I can just... Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think... I could have done this the whole time.
I guess I can make this $1 for now.
Yeah.
But there's no... That's so...
I don't know what I had this on before. I could have done this the whole time.
Not $100.
I could have literally been doing this the entire time. But yeah, I guess Patreon is $1. We're gonna be doing hopefully some bonus content on there. Like just some like extra stuff.
I'll find a different podcast.
Yeah, we'll put it on different podcast app. I actually was gonna talk to you about doing it on Spotify, but I think you have to pay for Spotify.
I already pay for it.
But I think you have to pay to put stuff on Spotify. I think there's a fee. I don't really know because I'm not the smartest with this sort of stuff. But
Wait, hold on. Keep talking. Go ahead.
What am I
Just
holding
keep
for?
talking.
Then mute your thing.
Oh, it let me publish it without paying money.
Mute your thing.
Oh, yeah.
That way, if it is echoing, it won't catch it. But yeah, so we're both super, super young into this.
But you're never too young to love Jesus.
You're never too young to love Jesus. That's right. So if you don't know, if you've never been on this channel before, me and my friends started this in October of last year. I think we started the channel in December, but we started the study in October. And it was supposed to be a Bible study with a bunch of friends. Scheduling conflicts have happened. So, like, school was really kicking everyone's butts. So, we haven't really been active on here very much. I won't say that. I don't think that's confirmed yet. I won't say that. So, yeah, she walked up to me a couple weeks ago. Was like, "You want to do a podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." We had a little bit of a disagreement about how we wanted to do it, right?
Truth is, I just think it's so cool how people just talk on microphones. And I wanted to do it too.
No, that's not what I was talking about. Wasn't even close to what I was talking about. So we had a disagreement on how we wanted to publish this. So we didn't know if we wanted to do it on this channel or we wanted to do it on a separate one. But I'm like, dude, we have like 90 subs on here, which we're really close to 100, by the way, which is really cool. We're really 10 cents. You're gonna charge people a dime to put it. Anyway.
That's the lowest they would let me. But it said $1, so I don't know how that happened.
Anyway. No, it has to be $1. We'll figure it out later. Anyway, so we almost did this on a separate channel, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about if you were listening.
Sure.
We almost did this on a separate channel, but I'm like, we're not really big enough to put this on a separate channel. So it's going to stay on here. It's going to be its home for now. Yeah, did you not know Patreon is how you make money?
Well,
Did
it says $0 per month.
because that's how much you've made
No.
this month. We were supposed to record this like 45 minutes ago, but she decided she wanted to figure out this Patreon stuff, and she still hasn't figured it out. So we're working on it. So I guess it's just me talking into a microphone. Because she is not in the same universe.
I'm in a rabbit hole.
You're in a
truthfully.
rabbit hole?
Yeah.
Here, try to stay back.
Well, I am pretty
'Cause-
far back.
Because I turned you up like a lot.
Okay, so let's get into the real details here.
What real details?
How many brothers you got, Ethan?
That's a great question. This is the real details everyone wants to know. I have a half brother, if he counts.
That does count, yes.
I don't really talk to him very much, but I do have one. What about you, Denise?
I got 2 brothers.
Yeah.
One of them's 17,
No, he's
18.
Yeah.
The numbers.
Yeah, William's 18.
Okay, and I've also got one that's 12.
11.
11.
And then Gracie just turned 14.
Yes, and I have a sister as well. Do you have a sister?
Yeah. So I have...
The hesitation is killing me over here,
Yeah,
to be honest.
So, when my mom remarried a few years ago, his daughter came into our lives. Her name's Allie.
She's a very sweet kid.
She's a very sweet kid. I guess she's technically my sister. If you really want to get down and gritty, get down to it, I guess she's technically my sister. But, like, I don't really know. I really hope we're not echoing. I'm sorry if we are.
So
we're new to this.
let's all be honest here.
Okay.
Because I want this to be more of an honest podcast. Because I know some people go out there and they make podcasts and it's just not real with people.
Oh no.
Dads. Let's talk about dads because
Talk about dads.
we've got those. Yes.
Let's talk about dads. You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
That's something very big that I think a lot of people struggle on as dads. I have a dad. His name's William, for the longer version or whatever.
Whoa.
He struggled with drugs pretty much his whole entire life. Like, he started stealing cars when he was 12. But that's just not my story to tell because it's his story, obviously.
Maybe we'll have him on here one day.
Absolutely.
Maybe. We don't know. We don't know where this wants to go, so if you want, guess.
He's been in and out of jail pretty much his entire life. And my entire life, which has been 20 years, so imagine that. Crazy. Wild. He went to prison years ago. He sat in jail for about a year, and then they moved him to a prison in Rome, Georgia. And he was in there for a couple of years, almost. Well, he got out and he was doing better. And then he fell back down into the wrong path. And he was following Jesus, and he was doing everything right, but turned back over to drugs. And then he's actually sitting in a rehab facility right now. He's only been in there for
7 months.
7 months. He gets out on month 9 and he graduates. But I feel like this is a way of saying that you can do every single thing right for Jesus and still fall down the wrong path. You never know what's over the other corner, I feel like, and if you lead yourself to believe that doing everything right will help you not fall down the rabbit hole, I feel like that's just a very mistaken concept, especially in the time and places we live at.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much that you can truly believe that you're never going to do. And it's usually the things that you believe you're never going to do that you end up doing.
Yeah.
And I truthfully feel like that's where my dad really fell off at. Is because he came out of prison thinking he was never going to relapse again or be the person he was before. And he thought that just reading his Bible and doing everything by Jesus would keep him out of trouble. But that's just not true because the devil's always lurking on the other side. And with that being said, the devil knew Jesus the best. So, I mean, around every corner, you're going to find the devil when you're following Jesus. And so to sit there and believe that nothing bad can happen to you because you're following Jesus is just the wrong thinking.
Yeah.
You talk about your dad now.
Yeah. Speaking on yours a little bit, I actually went and saw Will last week. Yes. We just went and saw Will. He seems to be a lot better than he was when I first met him. I probably first met him when we moved in here. I think I'd met him like once or twice before, but like I really talked to him like when we first moved in here. I've talked about mine before, so I'm gonna give mine a little bit less of a rundown. My real dad has struggled with addiction his entire life, and it's had really nothing to do with me for the last 20 years. Or 18, I guess. 18 years, because he left when I was like 2. So I guess like 18 to 20 years, he's really had nothing to do with me, and I've not had anything to do with him either. And then my mom remarried. He was more of a dad to me than... If you hear that in the background, I don't know what that is. I think there's a truck or something. If he picks it up, I'm sorry. But, yeah, so mom remarried, and he struggled off and on with addiction the entire time they were married. They divorced, and then I didn't really talk to him after for like 5 years, and then I talked to him on my birthday. He wished me happy birthday. He came to my work, wished me happy birthday, and then 2 days later, he went to go join the Lord. Yeah. I still go visit him all the time though. Actually, no, I don't. I need to. I need to go visit him more. But yeah. He went and joined the Lord. And yeah. I know I've talked about it before. My testimony is going to be linked. I know I can always go more in depth with it, and I think that's what this podcast is for. Is go more in depth into our lives and how God has changed our lives. But if you want like a big rundown of what happened, I made like a 30-minute video describing what happened, and I even said at the end of that like I didn't go as much in depth in it as I wanted to. But if you want to see that, link's down there. But that's kind of the rundown of Father Queen.
So can I say something to that acknowledgement?
No. When she starts a sentence with that, it's scary.
Also, this is going to be a no judgment zone for everybody that feels either like they're not close enough to Jesus, like they're too far off on the deep end to become close with him, because that's just never true.
Yeah.
You can be so far down the rabbit hole, but then turn your life over so quickly with following Jesus.
Yeah.
And understanding that no matter how far away you get from him, he's always going to love you. And always want you to come right back to him, no matter how many times you ran from him, no matter how far you've run from him every time. He's always going to be right here.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just what it is.
And that was the reason we started this channel too, was to try to get God in more phones and tablets and stuff. And you kind of just made you kind of just said the reason that we started the channel. I'm not saying you're copying us. You copied us. Right, you copied us. But your mic just went mute, by the way. Yeah. So that's kind of what this podcast is. If you feel like you're too far down the rabbit hole to where like you can't get yourself out, hey, I'm just saying, Peter walked on water. Peter was going to drown, and God pulled him out. So I mean, I'm just saying, he can pull you out of anything, no matter where you've been or where you're currently at. And yeah.
And can I also say that
No.
I know what it feels like to feel like you're judged by other people around you that believe in Jesus, and you feel like something you say is going to be dumb comparatively, or something that you feel differently than someone else is just going to make you completely wrong. That is also not the case.
Yeah.
This podcast is going to be for different opinions, because the Bible is meant to be translated in the way you feel about Jesus and the way you feel about the Bible. So one way that I feel about it is going to be different than the way that Ethan feels about it. Sometimes they are going to correlate and they are going to be similar, and sometimes they can be the same. But I know Jesus differently than Ethan knows Jesus. And I know Jesus differently than my father knows Jesus, or my mom, or my siblings, as well as Ethan and his family. But I feel like nowadays it's easy to feel like you're going to be judged by the people around you that also believe in Jesus, just because that's how some people surprisingly really act.
Yeah.
And I just want this to be a zone where people feels like their voice is very much heard. And you can have a different feeling from what's being said through the Bible to you. And you're never wrong. There's not a wrong way to interpret Jesus most times.
Yeah.
Because everybody interprets him in a different way. So I feel like this podcast is really going to go in depth with how your emotions and your believing in Jesus and how you read the Bible is gonna very much be different than the way most people would see it. Because this isn't going to be Jesus in a nutshell. This is going to be Jesus wearing on our sleeves.
Yeah.
This is going to be him sitting out in the open with us in the room, as he always is, but most people let his voice go unheard.
Yeah.
But we're going to let his voice be heard.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And as I'm, going to probably tell you in every single one of these that we do, this is a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%. So you're never wrong. But in that too, you could always never be right.
Yeah.
To most people. But here, you're gonna be right. It's the way you feel. It's the way you interpret it. And if anybody ever makes you feel like it shouldn't be that way, then you might need to walk away from them. Because that's just not the right way to be interpreting the way Jesus loves everyone and the way Jesus wants the Bible to be interpreted to certain people.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you something that came to mind. Can I talk about before where your dad went before? Can I talk about that?
Yeah.
I know that's your place, but
That's fine.
okay. So Denise's dad actually went to prison 5 years, 3 to 5, something like that. Anyways, he'll tell you because he will be on here eventually. We're probably going to give him a couple weeks when he gets out, and then we'll probably have him on here. So be in tune for that. That'll probably be in like June.
It's very exciting because he really loves to read his Bible, and every time he's been in a place far away, he's always read it over and over and over again. So
yeah, that's actually what I was about to talk about. Will, I remember one time we were talking to Will, and he told me, he's like, I've read the Bible front to cover like 20 times. Like, I know I have. And every time I have, I've learned something different. And I'm sure he didn't say this explicitly, but I probably would assume every time he read a story he had already read, he took it in a different direction. It was telling him different things. There's a saying, I think it's like I don't know what it is. It's like different yokes for different folks or something. I think isn't that what the saying is? Yeah. Sounds about right? Yeah, it sounds about right. But the Bible, I could read a story, and we've done this a couple of times in the study before. I could read a story, and then you could read a story, and then someone else like Evan could read a story, and we could all three take it in different directions. Me and Evan could agree, and Denise not agree, or we could all three take it exactly the same, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, like you said, there's no wrong answers here. There's also no right answers here. There's no right, there's no wrong. It's how you interpret it. It could be something completely off in left field. Like, this reminds me of this. And it could be something completely off in left field. Like, we talked about it when we first did the first chapter of John, which is not on YouTube, by the way. I'm still working to get those on YouTube, the first 12 chapters that we did. I'm still working to get those on here. But we talked about it in John chapter 1, and everybody was talking about what we were reading it, and they were discussing what it was, and then we all thought of different things, and we all had different attributes of the text that we saw and we thought was important. Like, what I saw was important was that the word light was capitalized sometimes and it wasn't in other times. And it's something so simple like that that can completely change the way we view something. So she's just kind of staring at me. It's really funny. But yeah, like she said, there's no right answers. There's no wrong answers. And we kind of don't know where this thing's gonna go. We really don't know how long we're gonna do it. We don't know how often. I mean, we do have an idea of how often this is gonna be. We're gonna try once a week. We're working on a schedule. Right now we have once a week, right?
That's fine.
We're gonna try once a week, maybe on Wednesdays or Thursday whenever this is uploaded. I don't really know. It depends on how long it takes to upload. So this may be out Wednesday night, maybe out Thursday morning. I don't really know. But yeah, we're gonna try to do this once a week. And kind of the rundown of what this is gonna be. This is kind of just gonna be like how we apply the Bible to our lives. And how we apply certain things to our lives. Kind of like the study that I've been semi doing, except with somebody else in a different perspective. We're gonna try to come in. I'm gonna try to come in at least with as little notes as possible, because I feel like if I prepare for one, then I will fall in love with the podcast more than what it's really for. What it's really for is kind of like a platform to worship God on, and to worship Jesus and God on. And I feel like if I come in with a bunch of notes and I prepare for hours and hours and hours every single day, I fall in love more with the podcast than I do what it's really for. So I lose what this podcast actually means.
And honestly, a lot of what we're going to be talking about is probably going to be us learning about it with you guys.
Yeah, so
literally, like, it's going to be straight us reading from the Bible and us giving out the information of how it makes us feel and how it could possibly make other people feel.
Right. Nah, that's 100%. You know, we always say when we're doing shameless plugs, that grow your faith with us. I'm pretty sure that's in the bio of the channel. If it's not, it will be now. Grow your faith with us, and we've always been trying to go by that idea of like people growing their faith with us online, and we're using something that can be evil at times in social media.
Absolutely.
You know all about that because you're on it a lot more often than I am.
I am on social media quite a bit. I will have to cut back on that just because it's not very good for the soul and the mind and, you know, what else. But there's so many controversial things on there, and it's very hard not to get drug into it.
Yeah.
Although Jesus does, you know, tell us to set aside from what others are doing and how they are responding to said things.
Yeah, but
it's very hard.
But like, we're gonna try to use social media to praise God on, and that's a very hard thing to do.
You know what we haven't talked about though?
What haven't we talked about?
Moms.
Moms?
We've talked about siblings and fathers. So what about moms?
What about moms?
Yeah.
Trust me, we will have a format. We won't just mention random things at random times in the future. Trust me.
Well, it was just a get to know us.
No,
so
I know.
I know. You know.
We should have mentioned moms when we were talking about
We probably
dads.
should have, but then we got carried off.
Yeah, we got carried off. But anyway, that's a good thing. God can put you down a rabbit hole.
Exactly.
But you want to talk about mine first? I'll go with mine
go ahead and
first.
talk about yours. I love your mom, so.
I love my mom too.
Okay.
I don't know what to really talk about. Mom, she's been through a lot. With dad running around acting like a hooligan, and then she remarried, and then he started running around acting like a hooligan. I'll have to have her on here to really talk about what she's done. Yeah, that situation. If she's up for it, she's probably watching this right now. So if you're up for it, Mom, if you're up for it, Mom, call me if you're up for it.
She's a lovely lady.
She is a lovely lady. She
also has a lot of knowledge and a lot of care for a lot of people.
She does.
And she especially has a lot of care for the Bible and Jesus and the way that he's moved in her life as well. So that would be a very great person to have on here as well.
She does. Yeah, my mom is a very straightforward lady. My mom doesn't care to tell you how it is, but that's what I love about her, and I feel like that's something that some people don't like and some people do. Some people like sugarcoat. Not my mother.
Not me neither.
So. My mother is very, very straightforward. She would just about do anything for anybody, but she also knows, like, if you're trying to get her to do something and get her, and she gonna end up getting in trouble. She knows. Absolutely. She's smart like that, and me and her haven't always got along, but she's still my mama, and I love mama. We'll have her on here one day if she's up for it. I don't know if she will be, but we'll see. I'll talk to her. She'll probably call me after I upload this. After she sees it, she'll be like, "Why are you mentioning me on here?" You know, like that's the call I'm gonna get. That's the call I'm gonna get. Hello, Mr. Queen. Why have you mentioned me? You know, that's the call I'm gonna get. But yeah, we will definitely talk Mama Queen into being on here. I think that would be really, really fun. And also, while we're talking about people being on here, anybody who done the study before, maybe want to be on here, have at it. Texas, we'll see about having you on here.
But you're not getting my mic. You can have Ethan's
No,
mic.
you're not stealing our microphones. You're not. Yeah, we bought these things with our hard-earned money.
Oh, I didn't buy mine, but thanks.
No, I bought yours. Yeah, you're not stealing our mics. But if you want to be on here, let us know. We'll definitely.
I'm just kidding. I'll let y'all use my mic. Don't worry.
You'll be here too. So how are you gonna do it with us? Are we just gonna share one?
We'll share a mic. Yeah.
We're just gonna share one.
Yeah, we'll just have this on the same side of the table. I suppose.
We may need to make our space more, so we don't echo as much.
So.
But yeah, I love my mama. We'll talk about Niecy Mama now.
I love my mom. I can say that. She was also very bad on drugs. I don't really want to go too much in on my dad's story, but he was very abusive growing up. It's a very thing, it's a big thing I struggle with talking about. But my mom really got the bad end of the stick on a lot of things, and continues to. I will not lie for that.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot growing up. I say that like I'm 40 years old and almost on my deathbed. Oh no. I'm just kidding. I've seen a lot growing up, especially from my parents, and I've dealt with a lot of things that a lot of younger people haven't, and she's a very lovely woman. My mom is a very strong woman, and just like Ethan said about his mom, she would do pretty much anything for anybody. She's done things for me that, I couldn't even speak up and ask about. Anytime I was sick, she tries to make me go to the doctor now, but obviously I don't do that because who goes to the doctor?
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys. Just kidding.
Doctors are overrated, according to Denise. If you take anything out of this, is Denise thinks doctors are overrated. No.
But, my mom and dad met very young, of course. She had me when she was 18. Yeah. She had me when she was 18. And dad was probably 21, I believe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
They're two very strong people. I will admit that. But Mom has also gone down a very big drug road. She was addicted to drugs too. But we'll get into what was being done and what was said and all of that in a later podcast because that's just not what we're trying to get into right now on this one. I will say that she has stood by my dad through literally everything and anything. And I can't say that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because most people would have left my dad and would have got up and walked away. And which she had the chance to plenty of times. Like when he was in prison, in jail, and where he is now. She could have gotten up and walked away, but she never has.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I can very much give my mom, for. So she is a very lovely lady. I doubt she'll ever be on this podcast just because she doesn't feel comfortable with being on social media or talking to people on social media, and that's just her preference, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
But my dad, he's a very big talker, so he'll be fine on here.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Yeah, he just loves to talk most of the time.
This will be Will's bread and butter.
Yeah.
He may
even be on here a couple of times.
That's what I was about to say. We may have to have multiple episodes with Will.
But he's got a lot of knowledge into it, so that's wonderful to have someone that has that knowledge on here, just like Ethan's mom being on here. She has a lot of knowledge about it, so
yeah,
that'll be very enjoyable to hear their side of everything, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that sums up really our mom topic because, I mean, they're both great moms. They both took and went down different paths, of course.
Yeah.
But they're both here and they're both loving and they are both willing to do anything for pretty much anybody they meet. So.
Yeah. We don't want to get too in depth with it though because
because that's a different podcast
if our
later.
families come on here, we don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't really went in much detail. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have, but
not enough
we've
that they won't
given
be
it
able
a
to
rundown, but we haven't said it completely. If you can't tell, we came in here with nothing. So,
absolutely nothing.
So
I ain't got
nothing.
a pen or paper or nothing.
No, nothing. I'm sitting here playing with a highlighter right now. But
like I said, this is gonna be 110% real.
Yeah.
There is no hiding it and no lies, and whoever this reaches, I'm hoping to help them and to be a voice for someone that can't voice for themselves.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because a lot of people don't like to talk about their drug addicted parents or their dad leaving them or somewhere along those lines, which is completely understandable. But for people that can't talk about it or don't want to talk about it, this is their voice.
Yeah.
110%.
I don't know what that is. With that being said, though, if we do talk about you on here,
love you,
and you don't want us to share something that has happened, we're one of those people that we won't mention it.
I won't put your information out there if you don't want your information out there.
No, like anybody,
100%.
Any of these stories that we come up with, we know the people wouldn't care if we shared them. Now, if there's a person in the story that's that would care if we put their name out there, we probably wouldn't tell it, or we would try to find a way around it. But yeah, we're probably not going to mention you by name that much.
No, but I will say that when I get into talking about my time in foster care, I will not throw any names out just because a lot of people probably know these people.
Yeah.
Not people that are going to watch this, but maybe even then maybe. But I'd like to talk about the whole life instead of just parts and bits and all the good stuff, because I feel like when you say you've always been for Jesus, that's a biggest lie anybody can tell.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of the times, you come to Jesus after something bad happens.
Yeah.
Fully Jesus.
Yeah.
And, people are lukewarm. And I don't want to be one of those people. And I can say I don't want to be one of those people anymore because I won't lie, I have been lukewarm a lot in my life, mostly.
Everyone has. We said it on here before. I don't know if it was me who said it or it was Isaac who said it. I don't remember who said it. But I wasn't done yet, dadgummit. Somebody...
That was very rude.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I gotta learn podcast etiquette. But We said it on here one time that like everybody has fallen astray.
Absolutely.
Everyone has gone off the path. Everyone has. And anyone who tells you who hasn't will. They will. That just means that God hasn't tested them yet. So anybody who tells you that I've been for Jesus my entire, like you said, anybody who says I've been for Jesus my entire life and I've never fallen off the path God has for me,
It's just false.
they will. Or they're not, or they're lying and they're really embarrassed by it. Which there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like falling off the path.
Loves you no matter what.
It's like people who like get grossed out by like burps and stuff and are like embarrassed by burping. It's like everybody does it. It's like, why does it matter? But it's one of those things. That's how I feel about that when it comes to falling off the path. There's no reason to be embarrassed by it. Like everybody's done it. And I understand it takes some courage to come on here and share testimonies and stuff.
It's okay.
I get that. And it's okay to be nervous and not ready yet. I 100% understand that. Because like I feel like I'm that way sometimes. That I'm not always ready to share stuff. Like when I shared my testimony here, you were gone. You were somewhere. I don't remember where you were. And I had the house to myself. I probably re-recorded it like 3 times.
That makes sense.
Because I didn't like how it ended up.
It's easy to be very nervous, but honestly, just when you get to talking, let it out.
Yeah,
Jesus is listening. Jesus don't care what you say as long as it's for him.
Yeah.
He wants you to talk to him like that. He wants you to talk to him like that is your best friend.
Yeah.
Like he is Jesus.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
our greatest father.
Yeah, definitely.
He wants us to talk to him that way.
Exactly.
He wants us to open up and feel encouraged to open up to him.
Yeah.
And he wants us to talk to people about feeling encouraged to talk to him.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We talked about family, a little bit about us, kind of what the schedule is going to be and what this podcast is going to be.
You want to tell them about your school?
Do I want to talk about school? Oh, yeah, the reason why we haven't been posting on here. Most of us are in our second years of college. I'm in my final semester of college. I'm in my final month of college.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I probably won't go back. So this is probably my final month of college. So that's why we haven't been posting. It's because everyone else still has like 3 or 4 years left. So like it's very hard, and especially most people who do this live like 6 hours away from here.
That's a far.
I think the closest is Evan and Joe. I think they're the closest, and they live in Knoxville, which is like 3 hours. Like regardless, so it's very hard, and with different time zones. Like I know half of the group is in a different time zone than us. So like Isaac and all them are in different time zones. Yeah. So they're an hour behind. So it was very hard to get a scheduling. But we're going to try. We're going to make it work. May, I believe mine ends the 4th of May.
I dropped out.
We don't talk about that.
We do talk about that.
We'll go through a whole podcast talking about that.
But you guys, I will go back. I'm going back. Not to actual school, but they have like online school.
She's getting her GED right now.
You can get your high school diploma online.
That's what a GED is.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
You trying to say you're going to get a better job than me, Ethan?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Oh,
well.
Lord. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up. This went longer than I thought we would. We've almost been here an hour.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I hope we talk about Jesus forever. Yeah. I'm going to go talking about Jesus forever.
We're probably actually going to talk to our grandma about Jesus in like 45 minutes. So
yeah.
Probably,
actually, yeah, we will.
Probably.
Because his grandmother loves Jesus too. And I love his grandma.
She'll never be on there. I can almost guarantee.
Probably not.
Because she's not a very
techie person?
No, she's not.
Mm-mm.
She asks me all the time. I have to go down there all the time and figure out how to, like, put stuff on her TV and stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd bring my grandparents on here, but
No.
that's just not a good idea. My papa and mama love Jesus.
Well,
but in a different way.
But it's not because they love Jesus. It's why they will probably never be on here. It's because they're very, very old-timey.
Very.
And I really don't know what they're going to say.
No.
And there's no putting a filter on them. So I really have no idea what to say. We can share stories about them on here.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're hilarious. But no, they will never be on here. Just because of filtering reasons. We don't really want to offend anybody on here.
No, that's not what we're here to do.
Because that's what, like you said, it's a judgment-free zone, and we feel like if we are offending people, we are judging them.
And we are pushing them farther away than pulling them closer.
Right. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you got something else.
Well, and for further podcast, we're going to deep dive into a lot of things. Body image, feelings, depression, literally anything that someone could be dealing with that's pulling them farther away from Jesus.
Yeah.
Just to make them feel more comfortable with running right back to him.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people struggle with these things daily, which is, understandable.
Yeah.
But you should never feel that way and not feel like you can come to Jesus about it. So like I said, this is just going to be very real and authentic. And if you want to stick around and listen, you can. And if not, and it's not your cup of tea, you don't have to listen.
No.
And that's at the end of the day, who's going to go back and listen to it? Me.
Yeah, probably.
Me forever. Because talking about Jesus is fun.
Yeah.
And it can be very relaxing and just easy doing.
I really hope this recording is not screwed up by the echo.
If it is, it's okay.
Because if it is,
we can always redo it.
I know, but we've been here for an hour.
I know,
and I feel like this is like a really great opener. So,
probably is.
Yeah, that clicking is going to get really annoying.
What?
The clicking of her muting her mic on and off.
Yeah, it should.
Is going to get really annoying. Hopefully you will know by this episode if it echoes or not, and if it doesn't, you can keep that thing on, and you can keep it on.
And I will.
And you will.
But anyways, that sums it up.
Yeah, it does.
If you liked it, y'all can stick around. You don't even have to listen to the whole thing. Honestly.
No.
Because this was probably just a bunch of rambling anyway.
Oh, no,
but
it was.
It's a get to know me, and I feel like that's what it should have been.
Yeah.
But anyway, so.
I'm gonna do my shameless plugs. You don't have to be here for it. You can turn your thing off.
I don't know what that means.
I will show you. So turn the thing off. I will show you. Shameless plugs. Share the stream. I say stream. I always say stream. It's in every single video that I've done so far. I've been doing videos for like a month. I say stream because I'm used to saying share the stream when we did live streams.
Why can't we just say, like, that sums it up? Love Jesus.
Because...
Peace out. Cub Scout.
Because YouTube doesn't like that. So,
that's weird.
like we said, we're probably going to be on more podcasts.
I'm looking for apps as we speak. I've already downloaded, like, 8. So,
yeah. So
I'm trying to get y'all in on the free good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. Yeah. All that good. Oh.
Okay, well, that's it from me. My name's Denise. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Share this. Watch wherever you get your podcast. We're probably there. Except for, like, Spotify. And we may even do Spotify. It just depends on what they're...
We'll let y'all know what we're using later on.
We'll let you know.
I'll have, like, a Facebook set up and Instagram and all the social media sites, so...
Yeah. We have a TikTok that I've never uploaded on, but that's more for the YouTube channel than this.
So I'm gonna make one for the podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, hope you enjoyed a bunch of kids rambling for about an hour.
I am no kid, sir.
Okay, a bunch of young adults rambling for about an hour. And hopefully this will be out soon. Today, hopefully. It's Wednesday right now. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. And we will see you next week.